I say to many people, I'm a triple A. I'm an Asian, American, African that has gone through and understood the pain of apartheid. So as I grew up, we as a Chinese had no vote, no rights, no ability to own any property, no ability to go to a school, a white school or any school. And so we had to create our own school called the Chinese primary and Chinese higher teachers. Some good, some not so good, and go through that. Then when you get into university, there was a quota. Only 2 Chinese or 3 Chinese, I forget the number, out of 200 could be admitted to a medical school. I got into that quota based on whatever merit that they chose. And then when you go through the university, when you finish your medical school training, then your medical school training is you're only allowed to train in a black hospital. Now, people may think that's a horrible thing. I thought it was a wonderful thing because the experience that exposed me to be able to see the pain and the suffering of kwashiorkor, malnutrition, TB, all the diseases that underserved people suffer, exposed me to the need of these inequalities very, very early on as a medical student. So I got, I think, the best training. So I know it sounds counterintuitive, but I think I got the best training because I was exposed to things that you wouldn't see in Beverly Hills, the best way to describe it. But having said that, I think South Africa is a beautiful country. It's a country of a melting pot like Los Angeles, a country of beautiful people who really care for each other. And I returned about 2 or 3 years ago, quietly, without them knowing I'm in the country. And the young people who've grown up without ever having seen apartheid in that generation are so wonderful with each other because I think they've lived apartheid and understand it, exposed it. And Mandela did this amazing thing called reconciliation. So I think that is really why I think it has changed. And then now the country is probably more enlightened, I think, than the United States at this point in time. One of my, I think, goals of our paper is to be truly objective and give fair exposure to both sides. I think you need to have empathy for both sides. And that's what I've tried to do, try to understand from where the other side is coming. Maybe you completely disagree with it, but at least try to understand. It's important to understand from where they're coming. When I say they, I mean the extreme right and the extreme left. The pandemic has really exposed issues that's always been brewing. So it's not like this has never been there. And the pandemic has unearthed the many things, the inequalities, the disparities in healthcare, disorganization from central to municipal and government responses. And then finally, this idea of racism. So, I spoke up, as you know, very openly and said, listen, we have to recognize that racism has never left this country, whether it be Black, Latino, Native American, and now Asian. Until you recognize that and accept that internally, digest that, and address it, we will never be able to go to the next level of what I call enlightenment of humanity, where we're all human beings, and the color of the skin is not what determines who you are, what real respect, what level of dignity, what level of empathy you give each other. I think the pandemic has unearthed a lot of deficiencies in our country. And not that the pandemic has been the cause of it, the pandemic has actually just unearthed what's already been there.